Welcome to Learn Short and Typing with VIKAS Sir. The Hindu editorial dictation is for a civic solidarity. ये जो आपका आर्टिकल है काफ़ी बेनिफिट होगा आपके लिए। एसएससी का हो, आपका कोई भी आपका जैसे पंजाब एंड हरियाणा कोर्ट हो या आपका चंडीगढ़ हाई कोर्ट हो, किसी भी डिपार्टमेंट में आपका स्किल्स टेस्ट है उसमें काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट रोल प्ले करेगा। देखो आज में बेसिकली क्या बोला गया है, जब आपको पता है कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट में काफ़ी कंट्रोवर्सी होती रहती हैं। देखो इसमें क्या बोला, द चकमा एंड हैजोग पीपल, जो चकमा और हैजोग पीपल डिजर्व ए सिटीजनशिप, वो डिजर्व करते हैं सिटीजनशिप का, एंड नॉट रेशियल प्रोफाइल, जो प्रोफाइल रेशियल जो प्रोफाइल है उनकी उन पे डिपेंड नहीं करते वो। चलिए हम काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल है, डिक्टेट करेंगे हम @100 वर्ड पर मिनट। सो बी रेडी, स्टार्ट। The NHRC has done the right thing in directing the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Arunachal Pradesh government to submit an action taken report against the racial profiling and relocation of the Chakma and Haijong communities in the northeastern states. They had fled their homes in the Chittagong Hill Tracts in erstwhile East Pakistan, present day Bangladesh, after losing land to the construction of the Kaptai Dam on the Karnapuli River in the early 1960s. They had sought asylum in India and were settled in relief camps in Arunachal Pradesh since then. They have been well integrated in villages in the southern and southeastern parts of the state. In 2015, the Supreme Court directed the state to grant them citizenship, but this had not yet been implemented. In a judgment in 1966, the court had stated that the life and personal liberty of every Chakma residing within the state shall be protected. In light of these orders, and given that most of the Chakma Hajong community members were born in the state and have been living peacefully, the Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister's announcement in August 2021 they have would be relocated outside the state and that steps would be taken for a census of the communities was clearly unwarranted. A so-called state-driven census would have amounted to a racial profiling of the two communities that have also been the subject of an antagonist and nativist campaign by organizations such as the Arunachal Pradesh Students Union. The issue has not been helped either by statements made earlier by the Union Minister of State for Home, Kiran Rijiju, about relocation. It is difficult but not impossible for any state government in the northeast to balance the interests of the native tribal communities and those of legitimately settled refugees and their progeny. Special rights guaranteed in the Indian Constitution in these states in order to protect the tribal people, their habitat, and their livelihoods have more than occasionally been misinterpreted as favoring tribal nativism with overblown demographic fears, fanning hatred for the communities such as the Chakma, Hajong in Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram. Unfortunately, political forces have also limited themselves to using ethnic features for power and sustenance. Uprooting communities that fled their homelands under duress and have since been well settled in their adopted areas, contributing to the diversity of culture and the economy would be a violation of their rights and repeating a historic wrong. A dialogue between the state government, civil society, and those of Chakma Hajong communities would go a long way in addressing concerns in implementing the court judgment of 2015 rather than the course currently adopted by Itanagar. Implementing the NHRC directive should be a step in the process to reserve that course. Full stop.